Hello guys, we're back. Okay, I have the plenum all unbolted. Yeah, I'll pull it off, show you where each one goes. But nut, bolt, bolt, nut, bolt. Tiny little bolt here holding on this wiring plastic thing. Then this vacuum hose has to come undone from right there or up here. Either one, don't care, it doesn't matter. And actually, you probably couldn't see it. I'm not very good at this video and stuff. This is the hose has to come off. This is the bolt right there, holding on that plastic piece. Now, back to this side. This is where a few things were hiding. Sorry for the earthquake. There is a 10 millimeter. You see 1 and 2. Okay, there's one and there's one. They're holding on. I believe that's a gas line, and it is holding on the other one, holding on that supportive line as well. And then this one up front, holding on part of this wiring harness and grounding. At that point, you should, be able to lift her right off and set her right down, bottom plenum. And you will need two gaskets, one for the middle section and one for basically the intake manifold right there with the injectors sitting on it. So again, I intend to do this for experienced and novice alike. So intake, last part of intake plenum, intake manifold, if you will. Common fuel rail. So fuel, I believe, comes in through this one. Could be this one, don't know. Yeah, it is. It's this one. Comes through, comes over here, fills up this one, and these are your injectors. You can see one right there going down into the intake manifold. That's where it injects into the runners just above your intake valve. And you can see some buildup in there, not worried about it. This PVC valve. What happens, you have gases that build up inside the valve covers or just inside the internals of the engine. This PVC valve, it recirculates those vapors, and a tube comes from here. It goes into the intake plenum, the stuff we just took off. It's always sucking air in, and it sucks it down into here. And that's why you see, this black goop, because the vapors inside the engine are oily. It burns them. Not really reburns, it burns them. And that is why you get some buildup in there. On the direct injection engines, I won't go into it, but it causes a significant problem. You can look that up on YouTube if you want to. This is not a direct injection engine, so that doesn't matter. I will be taking off the coil packs on this engine. The coil pack for this one also runs the plug over here. So you have 3 coil packs running 6 plugs, essentially how that works. So I will be taking off the coil packs. I will have to, down under the coil pack is the spark plug. I will have to take out, well, I don't really have to take out spark plugs. I don't know. I don't know. I may or may not do that tonight. Take off those, disconnect any other bolts getting in the way of taking off the valve covers, and pop off the valve covers. That was the intent for tonight, so we'll get to that. Don't know if I'm going to film that process. Might. I can always edit. And if this was a little higher, you could see more what I was doing, but I'll try to talk you through it. It'll probably be boring anyway. Here we go. So, what we're going to start with first, I am going to disconnect the coil packs. There we go. While I'm at it, Actually, no, not while I'm at it. That's not best practice. Quite honestly, guys, best practice right here, the intake to your engine is open. Unless I really, have a desire to take off the intake manifold because I dropped a bolt down in here, I should have done this right away. Put something over it so you don't drop stuff in it. A good t-shirt will do. I think best practice is to use a t-shirt from Charleston, South Carolina Low Country Classic t-shirt. Those work the best, I found. And I went to school there, to the Medical University of South Carolina. As a job making money, not as much as I should make, but from what I do make, I'm a physical therapist, not requiring work on engines, but work on people. And, I like what I do. I didn't go into it to get rich, thank goodness, because that didn't happen. Finding this part not too easy. Don't think I really need to. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that attached, quite honestly. This one. And there we go, number 3. So I'm just going to let those boogers hang there. You could number them if you want to, but quite honestly, as they're hanging, by the length of the tubes and the wires, 1, 2, 3. Pretty simple. Now, over on this side, move the engine over a little bit. Over on this side, there is things that are going to have to go. But for now, the spark plug boot, that one. Good Lord, Mother of Mercy. You have to lay your hands upon it and feel the strength surge within you as you get the power to... There we go. Woo! And number 3, that one was easier. So, we have spark plug, wires, cables, boots, all out of the way. At the end of the day, I'll probably wish, I'll wish I had numbered them and stuff, but I will hate myself another day. So, a few more things to take apart to make room for what I need. Everything's looking pretty good so far. This bracket's got to go. I mean, got to go. It is going to make my life pure Sheol if I do not get rid of it. So therefore, it's gonna go. This one holds down the... Did I break that? Holy crap. At least that one didn't break. Well, there may be a drilling out having to go over here. Jeez Louise, Murphy. I just don't like that guy. Do not like the Murphy guy. Maybe part of one video will be removing freaking little bolts like that cause your day to go bad. Because then you go to remove it and inevitably the drill that you need to use is dull. Then you have to sharpen the freaking drill. And it creates a whole process. Now I just moved some gas lines and there's gas leaking on the floor. Thankfully I like the smell of gas fumes. I didn't say they're good for you, I just like them. Probably explains a lot about me. Now, there are some 10 millimeters right here that need to go. They're just holding on part of the plastic wiring loom that will be completely in the way when you go to remove the valve covers. I think that may be, maybe all of them. I will, that one's just plain broken. I'll find out more as we move along. Okay, put things back where you got them. Remember that? So for the coil packs, 1, 2, 3. I'll do these later. Also, be very, 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 very careful with doing this one. I'm breaking a cardinal rule. I took the Best Practice South Carolina, Medical University of South Carolina t-shirt off of the intake runners to put on the nuts. And I'm coming back over here to put in the bolts, bouncy, that go into the intake plenum. There we go. And since I didn't do it right away, there were 2 I wasn't exactly sure of, but now they have themselves a home. Everybody's gotten adopted. It's all happy. It's a good hallmark moment. Ending for everyone. So now it's to remove the valve cover. Yes, this wiring little loom here is a little bit of pain in the booty. Let me see what I need to do to make my life a little easier. How much do I want to take apart? There's a lot to be said for freedom of view. What I'm fixing to loosen up is what I'm potentially fixing to loosen up is the crankshaft position sensor. I do believe that when I get that loose, I will be able to have that wiring loom give me a little more freedom. And I don't really need the freedom per se to take the valve cover off. That's just not the point. For me, it's going to be more about when I put the valve cover back on, because you want it to go on as straightforward and simply as possible. There will be a silicone gasket on the valve cover, and there will be portions that you will have to put on some silicone goo. Now I did do that last time, a billion miles ago, and evidently I didn't do it well enough because it leaked. Oh, there's that part that broke off. This holds some lines on the intake plenum. We'll deal with that later. Okay, put the bolt back. Done. Now, much more freedom, like freedom. Let me free up this doohickey even more. Yes, 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 yes. I do not think this is going to have me take off the fuel injectors. I would really rather not unplug them or do anything else. Not afraid of it, just would rather not. Check this side for freedom of play. Really? Are you going to jack up my parade? That's rude. Okay. These are my least favorite type of wiring. Hook onto anything that can find connectors. Oh, yes. I can look up under your skirt now. There's another booger back here. Okay, now that it's loose, I am completely under the skirt. Yeah. Woo! Glory! Now, we can proceed to look under the skirt. Here we go. We're going to have bolt the number. Didn't quite get this guy. Okay. Laying stuff on top of the intake manifold is a no-no, but if you have it covered by a Medical University of South Carolina t-shirt, it still remains best practice. Okay, all of the bolts are off of this valve cover. I hear it just squealing with excitement, ready to come off. That little line had to go. Looks like everything else is dandy and just ready to free itself. There be one. Ah, okay. It is, well, it looks like, I don't know what this thing's seeing. Let me take a look. Yeah, it looks like it's had 330,000 miles. Now, there's not a lot of, there's been a lot of vapor and stuff, but as far as a lot of really nasty goop, no, it doesn't look that bad. I'll show you the inside, okay? Let me take off the last silicone gasket I put on here. And you know what? My problem may have been I did not use a fair enough amount of silicone ooze. Anyway, that is not reusable. Now here we go. Got caught me. Best practice. Again, I don't know why piano is in my garage. I've got really big issues with that. The bolts go back where you took them out. Don't have to, just do it. You know? Someday when you grow up, you'll thank me for this. Just do it. Now, this one, two more. I know it's tedious, but take the time. probably will have leftover bolts. I'm telling you. There's some ferries or something that come around and they make extra bolts. It's kind of like where the socks go from the dryer. There's bolts left over on them. Shouldn't be, but there is. Almost always, and it doesn't seem to affect any dadgum thing. Now, let's rip these off. On. Go. Come to Papa, you turd. And there's that empty, vacant valve cover sound. I love that. And this one. And this one. And this one. And this one. Done. Okay. You're going to work on engines. Get yourself one of those magnets that extend on a antenna. So far I haven't had to use one this go around, but I don't think I'll get through this without having to. Now that I have fixed it so I can look up her skirt, it's time to take it off. Good, good, good. Peel off this wonderful silicone gasket, which I don't think did its job too well. And the other valve cover, if you can see it. And again, not too bad. Not a lot of grime. There's a little bit of goop up in here that's got to go. And right there, and right here. That actually, I lied. Yeah, no, I didn't lie. This whole dude here that's riveted, I don't know if you can see that or not, riveted in the valve cover head. It is part of the PVC system. I will be replacing this PCV valve, and the other things that get replaced, these grommets usually get replaced. I will be really giving this a good go over. These here seals that seal over the spark plug tubes, I will show you those. They will be replaced as well. In this type engine, I'm going to take you out of my tripod for a second. A little earthquake. There we go. In this type engine, you see down those tubes? That's your spark plugs. Sitting right on top of the cylinders. Okay. And there's the inside of my valve cover. A lot of oil flows through there. Oil flows through these guys. This one is designed as a cam, and under it, let's see if you can see, yeah, you see that piece right under it? That is a shim sitting on top of a bucket. And there's a spring under there, a whole mechanism, but to check the clearance between the camshaft lobe and your valve, whether intake or exhaust, you get a feeler gauge and you put it through there when it's rotated to a certain point. I'm not going to do that. I checked this engine at 200 whatever thousand miles, and not only was it within spec, but it was dead on. No, I'm not checking it. I'm just not. I'm not going to go through all that. I'm not going to. They're fine. The engine runs perfectly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay? I'm not going to mess with that stuff. I probably will change spark plugs. That's neither here nor there. And there are, you can see, no, you can't. Down here, there's a little half moon gizzy. That's going to come out, as is this. I'll show you from the back. There's a plug. Okay? That's got to come out. And here's a metal one. It will come out. and I will silicone those guys, and I will also this time put silicone over the little joints right here, which it doesn't look like I did last time. What was going on with me? So anyway, that's the valve cover. Actually, that's the head we're looking at. And if you did want to take the head off, there's the bolts down there, head bolts. That is just not going to happen. Now this engine, the camshaft is run from this pulley, and the camshafts are timed by these helical gears. Really neat system, I think. So no need to have a chain running two cams. You got one running this cam that runs this cam. It's not going to go out of time. It's perfect timing. Everything's wonderful. Everybody loves everybody, and they get along great. They mesh together wonderfully well. And because of all the time that they've played together, they're just wonderful friends now. Here's the other side. There's not as much light over here, so you can't see it as well. But again, it's still pretty clean. Not any bad, big oil, gooby places. And built the same way the other side is. So I will be... I'll check that out a little later. Don't know what I think about that yet. I will be inspecting some stuff a little more, but that's essentially all that's going to be done for tonight. I'm not going to tear this engine down anymore, other than maybe putting on an oil pump, since there's so many miles on this engine. I think it's just best practice to do so. And I already told you about everything else. So that's it for tonight. More than likely, I'll be editing a lot of this stuff out. As you can see, it's not a big deal. It doesn't take that much time. Keep your stuff organized. Put your bolts back where they're supposed to go. Get you a Medical University of South Carolina t-shirt to put over your intake manifold. Do not drop anything down in there. And y'all are about to let me get away with this. I cannot believe that. I'm going to put my bolts back in where the valve cover was held on. And I won't make you endure that. I will talk to y'all later. Appreciate it. Have fun. Hug each other. Bye.